Hi, and welcome to this presentation where we will be exploring some common myths that are often raised and talked about in the world of chronic pain, and hopefully we can change some of our understandings of these myths. So number one, when we look at imaging in the NHS, we have X-rays, MRIs and ultrasound scans, and the myth that these can show sources of pain is one that is held by lots of health professionals, but also people that experience pain. And we're here to just have a little look at this. And actually, this isn't quite as straightforward as we are led to believe. So in answer to that myth is false. We know that in persistent pain, that the hypersensitized nervous system is much more the focus of the pain, and that is less about what we're seeing specifically in the body. We know that X-rays and MRIs are good for looking at things like broken bones, for example, or more serious sinister pathology, infections and cancer, for example, but are less helpful when it comes to looking at pain. We know that an X-ray is not a good source of pain, or an MRI is not a good source of pain. Sadly, at the moment, we can't clinically see what the nervous system is offering us, and therefore we can't see pain. Lots and lots of science and research that explores this, and this slide here just reflecting research that with lots of people where pain is not a problem, but they've had an imaging done, and on those images we can see that things for the lower back, for example, like disc degeneration, so this is very common in the age group here of 20 to 30 people, 37% of people experiencing disc degeneration but not experiencing any pain. And this goes for other joints, the head, the neck, the shoulder, hips and knees. So very common now to see normal age-related changes in imaging in lots of people with no pain. And so on its own, that MRI scan doesn't really give us all the answers, but it does give us a good starting point and a place that we can build upon. Myth number two, so discs can slip out of place and be pushed back in. So the discs are the shock-absorbing material that sit between the vertebrae of the spine, and they're really important. They're really part of what allows us to move and do all the bending and shifting and lifting and twisting. And again, unfortunately in this instance, it is a false. So that common misbelief of a slip disc, we're not seeing that kind of movement of a disc when we look at those on imaging. Discs can be injured like any other structure in our body, our ligaments, our muscles, our tendons, but this perception that they come out and are pushed back in again isn't something that we're seeing in the research and the science. Number three, you should always keep your back straight and bend from the knees when lifting. So again, we're taught at an early age we should keep our back straight, bend with the knees, and ultimately this might be advantageous if we're lifting something very heavy, but in actual fact our spines are designed to bend and twist and move. Otherwise, we would have had one solid bone down our spine, not multiple bones with hundreds of ligaments, tendons and muscles. We know that bending is actually good for our backs. It's helped nourish the spine, nourish the joints, nourish the discs and the nerves. And as we said earlier, it might be efficient to bend the knees when lifting something, but it's not the be-all and end-all. We want to make sure that we've got strength for the whole range of movement when we move our spine, bending, twisting and lifting. Myth number four, we should sit up straight to prevent or reduce back and neck pain. Actually, again, this is a false belief. There's no real good science or research that says we should, that holding ourselves upright for long periods of time is good for us. And as I said, the myth of good posture is mainly driven by social norms. Posture is individual. Different things are going to work for different people. From our perspective, what we would encourage people to do is not stay in one position for too long. So you can be relaxed, but don't do it for too long. You can be in a good posture upright, don't do it for too long. And our motto really, motion is lotion. That's what's key in this, for this one. Number five, bed rest is helpful for chronic pain. Again, this belief, not really a helpful one. We know that prolonged bed rest is unhelpful and actually associated with higher levels of disability. We know that people that spend more time in bed have a prolonged recovery and longer absence from work and longer disability. So again, the longer you stay in bed, the more chances of that back pain becoming persistent and causing you more harm in the future. So number 6, you should always avoid activities that cause pain. So again, unfortunately this is false. We know that getting back to things that are important to you, even though that might be fearful or painful, is really the key to a good recovery. We know that after an episode of pain, they might change how they move. It's normal to protect the area. But we also know we must get back to doing those movements normally. So holding a leg stiff, keeping the back straight rather than allowing normal movement and bending. We know that long-term, keeping that protective behavior in place is only going to keep you in more likelihood of a persistent pain state and heighten the sensitivity of the nervous system.